what the devil has done to destroy your life. I, as Jesus Christ, the returned master, is oathing and promising to take him by the scruff of his neck, if I have to, and destroy his evil work, while still trying to save this man of evil will. I'm going to try to speak loud enough, clear enough, and slow enough so that you can understand every word that I speak. I know how important this is to me, as for no matter whom I'm speaking with and what we are talking about, the subject is irrelevant. Speak slowly, clearly, and loud enough so you do not have to repeat what you are saying. I have a zillion documents to read you and a zillion more documents to write. I use that word of amount number because it seems like with million being that high up in the alphabet, there's a long ways to go for zillion, so it's the last amount of highness in money, in amount. And I thought to myself, as I lost a recording to a phone call regarding speaking, and me couldn't wait, I just thought I want to use my real emotion in spreading the gospel across the earth like the Holy Word dictates. The most important job is to sell everything you have and go preach the good news of God, because so few people are willing to volunteer this important work of efforted full-time job career. And I'm telling you, you do not need a university level degree, but it pays off to get older and wiser with God's promises and God's holy word. Stay with it. And I so very little read the Bible throughout my life, but I was so wrapped up in a baby's quilt with mothers and fathers, aunts, uncles, friends, neighbors, the church people, the believers all around the world swaddled me in clothing, and also God's word and promises to keep their Jesus safe and warm. So even if Miss Kathleen Versovich didn't do a lot of reading the Bible, it stayed with me. It stayed with all of the believers of the world. So as I was paying bills online today, well, one anyway, and then I thought, I just had the urge to get a video going because of how important the words are I have to speak to the world. I thought, I'm just going to turn this thing on right away and forget about any kind of touch-up for makeup, any kind of hairdo, redo for my hair, any kind of beautiful blouse to put on, any kind of raising my screen for anybody to see me better. I'm just going to get on air and tell them the way it is. Because after I paid my bill, I turned Facebook on and I saw the rich people of Hollywood sitting around a table, laughing, beautifully dressed, thinking nothing's important except their aired show. You people, I'll tell you right now, you're not a paying member to God's kingdom of heaven, and you are trespassing on his land. I'm sticking up for the almighty Jesus Christ they speak of in the Bible, they've wrote of and they've honored as God's Son to return someday, years and years after his first slaying. I believe in all respect due to the Almighty that I am his return, or at very least somebody who believes in him the most and honors him the most to have a real throne and a real pocket full of decency from the rest of the believers of the world. Not all these dressed in gold chains and brand new designer clothing from the rich designers of the world. All the best air shows from Hollywood. You get out of my house, I'm warning you, says Jesus in me, Kathleen. It's my time to clear you out. You owe a large bill. I've been writing all morning and figuring out what the devil owes myself. I'm saying that you clear clean out of Hollywood and out of Los Angeles unless your bills are paid. I'm warning you because I've got a heck of a big posse behind me in a church who's going to kick your butts even harder if you don't obey God and myself. The bill that you owe the Almighty, and I will use his name of Slash if he's willing to work with me. I love that name of what it means to cut Satan off violently if we have to, out of your chair. He wants California. No man can blame him for wanting the whole West Coast if he's going to honor God's new throne, and nobody else can do it. I pray that he works with me as Slash and Prissy will be known throughout the world, and the media people who think they're going to slur it off. No, you're not exempt to pay God, and he wants you to pay me. Because if you're going to neglect Jesus Christ, you're also going to piss in his face too, is what I'm telling and advising the Almighty. If they're not going to pay to save Jesus, who will be saved then? Certainly not the devil. Because I won't allow it. They owe too much money, and I'll tell you exactly what an estate membership is daily rated at. $1,551 is the prorated yearly amount for the people who live in the Hollywood area and district. As far as I know, and I'm working on a fair deal, the fairest I can make, I may allow them to sell something within time, but they have to show honor to God to actually pay. If they want to reside there, continue residing there, I want them to pay their bill only to me so I can take better control. So $1,551 to be paid to the end of 2015 to be omitting you from the bad trespassing list in Hollywood and Los Angeles and California. Now, the rest of the Californias, I'm going to tell everybody they should be clear out, and that's why I don't think it's fair that the Hollywood and Los Angeles people pay the same amount. But if they can at least start paying, they will help to make up the mind of the other Californians and say, well, goodness, we're going to pay less. I'll give your money back if you pay too much. How is that for trusting a fair Jesus? And Kathleen Forsovich, who I claim to be, I would never hide my identity for being scared or for being indecent, because I know that I have the best attitude for everyone to benefit. So when I use the ha ha ha, it's how they look. And worse, I'm not giving them the best of how bad they are. They think it's okay. Well, it is not. I'm going to continually warn you daily, if I can, several times a day. Beware of who Satan is. Satan was always known as somebody who was going to put on the bright light for everybody and pull a wool over people's eyes so they would not see the real God. So now I'm pulling that evil wool off of your beautiful, believing eyes, you poor people who have been so intelligent. I'm not putting you down, but you've been so abused by Satan, having Satan be idolism over you, whereas you could never ever get to their point because they're so fierce and hateful and so immaculately guarding their own entitlement, by which you can understand is perfectly normal in any man's mind if you've become that rich and wealthy. But you've been signing to the devilish devils of government and the highest end hierarchy, and doing whatever they say, and then telling the world, oh, this is charity. Bull S. It's charity that we are paying our high life and entitlements for. That's the kind of charity. The poorest of people are paying the most charity to Satan. I will not continue to allow it. I will put an end to it. And I pray Slash is open-eyed enough to realize not to get sucked in any further by Satan. You're lucky, Mr. Slash, and so am I. If you are with me, if you are not, I'm still making a vow to the church to stand up for the holiest of men of the churches, that we will slowly but surely destroy the enemy in the ways of not killing them. They're killing themselves. Think about how evil it must feel to be called the devil, to be known as Satan, to be against God. If they only would put away their money, which I know is very hard because of how hard it is to throw valuable things out. My first recording this morning, as I started to tell the story, was a rush for me to get to the screen. And then the phone rang. I know the evil men undercover are playing tricks upon my life like Halloween idiots, like mean gambling, starving swines, instead of knocking at my door and saying, I know you're selling shares to your beautiful kingdom. We should honor you by at least paying the smallest amount so that you can have some respect for us. We're evil. We're no good. We're always up to private indecency. And it's sickening to even us, let alone I can imagine how awful it must be for you to be constantly preyed upon by the evils. Now, I lost that first video as the man was coming in and out with a very soft little voice I couldn't hear, and it destroyed my internet connection, by which is to my phone, attached to my phone. I'm over 13 minutes now with my video, so I'm going to close off and continue again. I hope I don't even stop to put the makeup on, but I will get this one video up for you and then continue on later with God's beautiful good news. And Slash, I am warning you, and I am praying to God for you that you join me seriously with a real comment, with a real phone call, with a real email, a real message. Join me to your own walls, to your own